We'll let the train go by. It's the general feeling. I don't know why I can't stop burping. So, I have not made content for a long time, and it's mostly because I feel like fashion is irrelevant at this point, and also they will not stop banging on stuff next door, and also, and the train goes by every day. I feel like the train goes by every single time that I turn on a camera. Here we go, that's better. I feel like the train goes by every single time, but I haven't been making content mostly because I've been in tons of pain, mostly because it's my own fault, because my diet sucks, and I haven't felt motivated, and also I just feel like fashion is irrelevant right now, and because no one's leaving their house. And I feel like nobody really needs to hear from me. I feel like there's tons of more important voices that need boosting and need volume, and like we need bandwidth to hear those people. I have seen some other stuff on YouTube because I probably watch YouTube more than any other like entertainment platform. There's this one channel, and I'm not gonna, okay, yeah, I know what my bank balance is. Thank you, Bank of America. I just had a pop up on my screen. So there's this one YouTube channel. I'm not gonna say their name because I don't really want to give them any more exposure. I mean, not that I would, they're a way bigger channel than I am. But they have these consistent reaction videos of like, there was this one that I saw today, and like I don't watch the videos because I don't want to give them views, and I've seen like one or two I think of their videos because I thought, well, this is probably just clickbait and I'll watch through. Nope, it's not. It's just as bad as you think it would be. One of them was just like, said like, oh, Adele was ugly and now she's pretty or whatever because she lost weight, and I just don't like really, what is your problem? My issue with this person making content, like they're consistently trolling like plus size people, and that's one thing to do. Like you can have your opinion, that's fine, like have your opinion. And then she made like another one that was like, oh, why are fat girls always mad? And it's like, we're not. Like, I really don't think about you at all. But she pops up on my feed and I don't know why. But anyway, she's like she pops up in my feed, and like it's like, again, it's fine if you want to have your opinion. It's fine if you are against body positivity. Like that's your right. You can think whatever you want to think. I have my own issues with the body positive movement and like health at any size movement. So like that's a whole different story that we'll get into on another time, right? But for the most part, I just think that you should treat people with respect and dignity, no matter their size, no matter their, what they look like, no matter what, because they're humans. And again, like I said, when she was just doing this to adults, then that was fine. But today I saw something that made my stomach turn. Like I was just innocently flipping through my recommended, and it was, what did it say? It said something about like Honey Boo Boo's a runway model now. And like she's done this with other plus size influencers where I guess she thinks that like she's trying to be a gatekeeper about whose body should be seen and whose body shouldn't be. It's like, you know what? If you don't want to see somebody's body, look away. No one's forcing you to look away. I don't want to see your hateful content, so I don't watch it. But it's one thing to do that to like, it's one thing to say stuff about like Adele or to say it about like Tess Holiday or whatever. And like, I know Tess Holiday has other issues being problematic, but they're adults. Honey, the little girl who plays Honey Boo Boo, I don't think is an adult yet. I think she's still a teenager, or like a young teenager. I think. I'm not like 100% sure. But in any case, like, this is somebody who grew up on TV. She was a child. She's still, if she's not underage, she's very, very close to it. And you don't need to be shaming someone. Like, if you don't agree with the fact that somebody's a runway model, okay. You don't have to watch their runway show. You don't have to do any of those things. And the problem I have with people like this is they're constantly saying things like, oh, you're promoting obesity, you're doing this, you're making it okay. And fat people being visible isn't promoting obesity. It's just admitting that we exist. So fat people exist. Get over it. If you don't want to look at them, don't look at them. If you don't want to, if you don't want to, then don't. Nobody's forcing you to keep that channel. And yeah, we should be embracing more different types of bodies and more, not necessarily that we should promote that being overweight is like better than being, regular weight or underweight or anything like that, but just promoting the idea that you are worthy and good and okay as you are, and to stop moralizing body size, and I think that's the issue, is that, well, I think these types of people, if there's space, if there's inclusion for different body types, if there's inclusion for, then they feel like their superiority goes away. Their space gets, literally their space gets taken up by these other people. And it's like, well, if you are afraid that someone who you think is inferior coming and taking your space, then what does that say about you? Do you just not believe in yourself? Do you just not think you're worthy of affection and attention unless you're putting someone else down? And if that's the case, then that's really sad, and that's a whole different problem. Your problem's not with fat people. Your problem's up here. And like I said, I don't agree with everything about the body positive movement. I don't agree that you can be healthy at every size. Because the issue is your body is not meant, depending on your height and your age, your body is not meant to be quote unquote oversized. It's just not, that's not science. And you have to listen to science and doctors. I know that I am at least still 100 pounds overweight for what my body is going to best function at. That's a number I came to with me and my doctor and a health team, not a magazine. So I think there's two different conversations happening when it comes to body positivity. I think body positive people who don't like diet culture are trying to fight the constant bombardment telling people that they're not good enough coming from magazines and media, but then are also attacking experts like doctors, dietitians, nutritionists, all of those people. And it doesn't have to be a fight. It can be a partnership. And it can be something where you are working on your health. And, if you're eating right and exercising, then weight loss is pretty much just a byproduct of that. It's not, I can understand how making weight loss the end goal could be it could add to disordered eating. It can add a lot of stress. I know that it did for me, especially before I went plant-based and I was doing keto. Like, I was down to eating like 800 calories a day, working out twice a day, taking medication, and still my blood sugar wouldn't come down. I was definitely losing weight because I wasn't eating anything, but it wasn't sustainable. And my blood sugar wouldn't come down, and I was in so much pain, just so much pain. The literally 3 days after I switched over to a plant-based diet, that was when I could walk up my stairs and the inflammation just like left. And I didn't eat meat, I didn't eat dairy, and I felt like this huge weight had been lifted off, even though I'd only lost like in those 3 days like maybe half a pound or something like that. But it just all of a sudden, all of the fires inside went away. And that's how I know the pain that I'm in now is directly related to my bad diet, because I've been eating like vegan wings and vegan pizza and like way too much of the fatty oils and stuff. Because like you can get real good vegan junk food in Portland, and we've just been indulging way too much in it. And I know that's why I don't feel good. And it's been super hard to not do that, because I've been really anxious, especially when I was laid off. And now with a new job, I've been like really stressed, but like it's a good stress. And like I'm starting a couple of other projects that I'm just, like personal projects where I'm trying to learn new stuff. And so it's been really difficult when you're trying to live your life and you're trying to eat right, exercise, all of that stuff. It becomes overwhelming, and there's no shame in having to start over again. There's no shame in doing that. None of us have it all together. Like, we just don't. And if you're somebody who, can exercise, eat right on a daily basis, then that's fantastic. More power to you. Tell us what you're doing. Tell us how you're thriving. I would love to know. I wish this person who would make these videos, instead of attacking little girls for what they look like, would make videos about how they've been successful, or how they live, a great, positive, healthy lifestyle. And not necessarily trying to shame other people into it, because shame doesn't work. Shame actually causes a vicious cycle where you feel bad, and then you use the only thing that will make you feel better, which is oftentimes, if you're food obsessed, food, and then it makes the problem worse, and then you go back into that shame cycle. So I feel like those kind of people aren't interested in helping the people who they deem wrong, or whose bodies are wrong. I think they're more interested in just being exclusionary. They're more interested in creating a gate that like, my body is good, your body is bad, and you can't be part of the club. And it's actually really like internally misogynistic, and creating these things that are not really good for women as a whole. And especially because this person is a woman of color, I have a really hard time understanding why they would want to create more exclusionary spaces. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. And because I know that she must know what it's like to have gatekeepers, not, and like, so I'll say, as a woman of, I don't know what I should call myself, because yeah, technically I'm a woman of color, but I'm what they would call white passing. And so, I don't know, I'm a light-skinned woman of color, I guess. But, I mean, the minute I speak Spanish, like, So I know even within, like, the Hispanic community, there are exclusionary gates. Like, if you don't speak Spanish, then you're, shamed. If you are too dark-skinned in the Hispanic community, a lot of like older people, the Hispanic community values lighter skinned people more, and that's true within like some Black communities too. And so you just have to be careful about the kind of messages you're sending. Do you really want to be the kind of person who's creating exclusionary spaces based on what someone looks like? Like, why? Why do you want to do that? Ask yourself why. Is it because you're trying to make yourself feel better about something? Is it because you're trying to make yourself more important? Is it because you're trying to you know. And so those would be my questions to that person. I'd be really interested to know, like, what it is. And like I said, I just don't want to mention their channel name because I don't want to give them any views or exposures, and I don't really think anybody needs to see them. I really don't. Especially anybody in my audience. You don't need that toxicity in your life. You just don't need it. I do encourage people to be healthy, to go to your doctor, to follow your doctor's advice. And, you know, if your doctor tells you that you need to lose weight, like, you know, you can tell them, like, wow, that's, you know, really upsetting to me for this and this reason, and I think that I might need some guidance in that area, and that's totally okay to say. But yeah, that's it, lovelies. Just be well, be good, and be good to each other.